What is the heckler's veto? Have you ever wondered how a loud protest can silence a speaker? That phenomenon is known as the heckler's veto. It refers to a situation where authorities restrict or cancel a speaker's right to free speech due to anticipated or actual disruptions from opponents. Essentially, when someone threatens or creates chaos to oppose a message, it can lead to the suppression of that speech. This situation raises important questions about freedom of expression. The heckler's veto occurs when the government decides to limit a speaker's rights to avoid conflict caused by those who disagree. Instead of protecting free speech, officials yield to pressure from hecklers or protesters. This means that the loudest voices can effectively veto speech they dislike, creating a hostile environment that forces cancellation or suppression of events. The concept was first identified by legal scholar Harry Calvin. He pointed out that allowing the heckler's veto poses a serious challenge to the principle of freedom of expression. When the government permits this kind of silencing, it undermines the idea that free speech should not be stifled just because it provokes opposition or discomfort. In practical terms, the heckler's veto can look like a protester shouting down a speaker until the event cannot continue. It can also involve authorities shutting down a demonstration to prevent potential violence from opponents. This response hands control over speech to those willing to disrupt, rather than upholding the rights of the speaker and the audience to engage in open dialogue. From a conservative viewpoint, which strongly values individual rights and freedom of expression, the heckler's veto is particularly troubling. It represents a form of collectivism, where the reactions of a group override an individual's right to express their views. Conservatives argue that protecting free speech means defending even unpopular opinions against attempts to silence them through intimidation. Allowing the heckler's veto weakens the foundation of free speech and individual liberty. It lets the loudest or most aggressive voices dictate what can be said. Therefore, conservatives emphasize that government and institutions must resist the heckler's veto. They believe it is essential to protect speakers from being silenced by disruptive groups. This approach aligns with the principle of individualism, where each person's right to express their views is paramount, regardless of opposition. Upholding this principle is vital to maintaining a free society where ideas can be debated openly without fear of censorship driven by hostile reactions. The heckler's veto is a threat to free speech and individual rights that must be actively opposed to preserve constitutional freedoms.